What is going on, guys? Jason again, back for another YouTube video. In today's video, I'm gonna go through living in Bangkok, the good and the bad. Now, before I start this video, I will mention, of course, I'm not in Bangkok at the moment. I'm still currently in Hua Hin as of this video, but I thought I'd make a video on living in Bangkok, as it's still fresh in my mind, and I wanted to make a video before I happen to forget about it. And that is, I wanted to make this video, so because I made something similar, a video similar in living in Pattaya. If you guys haven't seen the living in Pattaya good and bad video, I'll leave it the option on the screen for you, so you can click that if you haven't seen that already. But my idea is to make a similar video with the living in Bangkok, the good and the bad. So if you haven't seen that Pattaya one, go and check that out. But my plan is to make a video about the good and bad of living in each place that I've been to in Thailand, or I've spent more than a month in. I will also, of course, make one for Hua Hin, so stay tuned for that later on. But today I'm going to talk about Bangkok, living in Bangkok. So I spent 3 months living in Bangkok earlier this year. I was there from the end of January until around mid-April. I did obviously the 2 weeks quarantine earlier this year in 2021 during the whole pandemic. And then I spent 3 months in a condo there in the On Nut area of Bangkok. So I did spend quite a bit of time in Bangkok, and I will say Bangkok, man, is absolutely one of my favorite cities in the entire world. I really do love Bangkok. It really has a special place in my heart. It's always that city you can sort of, for me, it's like, it's always like going back home. I'm not going to say it's obviously my original home. My original home is Melbourne, Australia, but it's like a second home to me, Bangkok, and I always love going back there. And every time I have time apart from Bangkok, I do always tend to miss Bangkok. I don't know, I just enjoy, I'm a big city guy too. I do like the hustle and bustle of big cities. That's why I love New York so much and that sort of thing. So I do really enjoy Bangkok, and I just enjoy the hustle and bustle type atmosphere. But Bangkok's got something for everyone, and that feeling, especially when you're arriving in Bangkok. Usually it will arrive, if you're coming to Thailand traveling, you'll most of the time arrive in Bangkok at Suvarnabhumi airport. And I don't know about you guys, but for me, every time I arrive at Bangkok Suvarnabhumi airport, I just get the happiest feeling in the world, man. It's just because as soon as you land in Bangkok at Suvarnabhumi, you see the windows on the plane start fogging up. You're in Thailand, you're in Bangkok. And you just get this sense of excitement that, oh my gosh, I'm back in Thailand. It's just so exciting. Like, I'm sure you guys will get the same feeling, but obviously this year it wasn't really like that, because it was like I was going straight into quarantine. But it's always a pleasure coming back to Thailand, and always a pleasure landing at Bangkok, because you're in for a good time. So I got some notes here so I don't forget anything, and I'm going to go through the good first of Bangkok. So transport, for me, transport is so good in Bangkok. Obviously, being a huge city with millions and millions of people, you need a really good transport system, and Bangkok definitely has that. You got thousands upon thousands of taxis waiting to drive you wherever you need to go. I would probably find it hard to spend more than $10 if you're going on a ride somewhere around Bangkok, because it's Bangkok obviously is a widespread city, but it's the taxi rides are very affordable. Obviously, if you go for the meter, you might get scammed, but I'll talk about that later on. But taxis are definitely amazing. They're a lifesaver in Bangkok. Very, very affordable. You've also got, of course, the BTS SkyTrain, and you've got the MRT, Mass Rapid Transit System. Those are two really good features of Bangkok, man. The BTS for me is what I used quite a bit when I was in Bangkok. It's very, very affordable, very, very efficient, very, very quick. And it puts the transport, the train, the metro train in Melbourne, in my hometown, to shame. It really does. Because it's like, oh my god, this is like a different country. Like, what is Melbourne doing? Like, they gotta pick it up over there. But Bangkok, man, I absolutely love the BTS system. You can get like 30-day passes if you're living here as well, so you can top that up with the rabbit card, something like that. So very, very easy to go around Bangkok as well. There's so many stops. You can pretty much go anywhere you want in Bangkok, these transport systems, the BTS and the MRT, you can pretty much go anywhere in Bangkok, and it's very, very easy to get to. And it's always expanding. It's ever expanding, this sort of thing. So that's definitely one of the positives living in Bangkok. You got a crazy amount of transport options. Obviously, Bangkok is a massive city, so you need that efficient transport systems to be able to go around. Next, we've got the food options. So again, being a massive city, there is a ton of food options in Bangkok. I mean, you've got like street food everywhere. You've got obviously your shopping malls. You've got your world-class 5-star restaurants in these hotels. And you're just guaranteed to find plenty and plenty of food options. You can, as I mentioned before, street food, you got the most basic food that you can find, the most cheapest food that you can find on the street, and then you go up to obviously your 5-star restaurants. So you can spend, the budget here is obviously varies a lot. So you've got a ton of options. And you've also got Grab and Food Panda, which is readily available for you. So that's also a really good option if you're just wanting to take out, or you're just wanting food delivered. You've got a ton of Grab and Food Panda options as well. So I absolutely love the amount of food options in Bangkok. Now, Bangkok, being a massive city, you've got lots of things to do. You've got your temples, you've got your shopping malls, like your luxurious shopping malls like Siam Paragon and Icon at Siam. You've also got your budget-friendly shopping malls where you can find great bargains like MBK as well. And of course, you got your weekend sort of markets. You've got Chatuchak markets, you've got Ratchada market, but I believe the Ratchada market is no longer open, and it's been closed due to the pandemic, so which is very sad, but I was lucky to go there during the time in Bangkok. But yeah, you got heaps and heaps of options, you know, so lots of things to do in Bangkok. You've got your nightlife, you've got your shopping malls, you got your markets, so temples, of course, endless amount of temples. So you've got lots of things to do in Bangkok. But you'll find it very hard to get bored as well. You've got lots of people everywhere, great places for people watching. So yeah, you'll love your time in Bangkok with plenty of things to do. As I briefly touched on it before, it is really a shopping heaven in my eyes. Like you got your Siam Paragon, you got your Icon at Siam, you got MBK, you've got Central World. I mean, you've got a ton of shopping malls everywhere you go, and you're just you've also got your markets like Chatuchak Market, so you can find lots of bargains everywhere. You got lots of street markets that you can find like your fake knockoffs and that sort of thing. So Bangkok is just it has it all in terms of shopping. You don't have to go far to find a shopping mall. You've got a lot of shops around, so you'll love the shopping aspect of it. It is indeed a shopper's heaven. Being in Hua Hin right now, the only disadvantage, of course, is not having a large, you got shopping malls here, but if you want like a really good variety of things to be able to go and check out, then Bangkok is obviously the perfect place for that. You need to go to Bangkok. So you don't need to go far for some good deals, even if you want to spend a little bit on some things you like as well. You've got the luxury malls and brand outlets as well in Bangkok. So you'll be fine with that. You'll be fine over there, believe me. Also, Bangkok is an amazing gateway to the rest of Asia. Now, obviously, during this pandemic right now, it doesn't really exist right now. But before the pandemic, Bangkok obviously is an amazing gateway for the rest of Asia with your Suvarnabhumi airports. You got Don Muang Airport, being a great place to be able to jump on a flight to go to places like Singapore, Kuala Lumpur, Philippines. Just lots of it's a real central gateway to be able to go to these other places, and the flights are so affordable. So if you're living in Bangkok and you just want to go on the weekend, you can go to Singapore for the weekend, you can go next weekend, you can go to Kuala Lumpur, you know, that sort of thing, and it's very, very affordable. So Bangkok, if you're living in Bangkok, you got an amazing access to some world-class destinations that are not far from Bangkok, like 1 hour, 2 hour flights as well. Like you don't have to go far to be able to go to another country, you know what I'm saying? That's the great thing about Thailand. The great thing about Bangkok is its location, no doubt about it. And of course, your airports are absolutely amazing. Suvarnabhumi Airport is a world-class airport. It's always so clean. It's a massive airport, and you got just easy access to be able to go to these world-class destinations right at your doorstep. So I absolutely love that. You're also very close to some other cities around Bangkok. You got Pattaya, of course. You got Hua Hin, not too far. You've got Ayutthaya if you want to go and check out the temples there. So you got just heaps of other places. You've got Kanchanaburi. So lots of places you can go if you're living in Bangkok that is not too far as well. So an amazing location and a great gateway to be able to travel to see some other places around. And the last point for the positives about Bangkok is definitely the nightlife. The nightlife has got something for everyone, let's just say. Of course, you've got your red light districts like Soi Cowboy and Nana Plaza. And of course, you've got your Khaosan Road, which is a very popular street for your backpackers. It's full of foreigners, before the pandemic, full of foreigners that like to party through the night and get drunk and all that sort of thing. Cheap beer, cheap drinks, cheap cocktails, all that sort of thing. So Khaosan is great for that. You got Sukhumvit, you got Soi 11 as well, full of nightclubs and bars. So just a lot of options in Bangkok. If you wanted to go to Eka Mai, you've got Silom, you've got Siam, where the shopping malls are as well. So you just got nightlife is everywhere. It's so spread out. You've just got a ton of options for nightlife, and again, you will not be bored. All right, so we move on to the bad. Now, obviously, being a massive city full of millions of people, you're gonna find some traffic issues. Now, that's definitely a major issue. If you're living in Bangkok, you will have to contend with a lot of traffic sometimes. It can be definitely a nightmare. I know I've had my fair share of traffic issues before, running late for flights, that sort of thing. So especially during rush hour, obviously avoid driving, avoid the highways, and absolutely avoid rush hour, of course. So expect long delays wherever you go if you're traveling during rush hour, but allow yourself plenty of time when you're leaving the house, especially during those peak times. Like I'd say anywhere from like 2 to 3 p.m. to about 6 p.m. you expect quite a lot of traffic around, even 7 p.m. So expect a lot of traffic, but yeah, you'll definitely have to contend with lots of traffic if you're living in Bangkok, so make sure you plan ahead. Pollution can also be a little bit of an issue sometimes. It's not an everyday sort of thing, but if you do struggle with a little bit of pollution problems, you're very sensitive to that sort of thing, to the haze, then you'll definitely might struggle a little bit some days. It's always very important to check your the local haze apps. I think you got like apps where you can check how dangerous the pollution levels are on that day. So that was very helpful if you're sensitive to that sort of thing. But make sure you just be careful. The pollution, it can be a little bit too much for people, so just be aware of that. A lot of people just tend to wear masks. Even before the pandemic, some people would wear masks if they're outside and that sort of thing. So just be aware of the haze. But yeah, pollution can be a little bit of an issue being a massive city like that. For me, I don't know, this is just my opinion again. I should have stated at the start of this video, this is all my opinion. This is not fact, don't take this as fact, but this is all my opinion. But for me, the accommodation options can be a little bit pricey. Now, obviously, Bangkok being a massive city here in Thailand, you're going to find accommodation being a little bit more expensive than other places like Pattaya and that sort of thing. So definitely accommodation, you can expect to pay a little bit more. That's what I've definitely found. You've got obviously your world-class hotels, your world-class condominiums, that sort of thing. So it can be a little bit pricey, but obviously you do have a lot of options. And what I usually found when I was in Bangkok is it would be quite difficult to find short-term rent. Like if you're just wanting to rent a room for 1 month, it can be a little bit difficult. I found it easier if you wanted to do like a 3-month sort of deal, but when it comes to like those 1 month sort of rentals, it's quite difficult to find in Bangkok. So, but if you're absolutely finding like a 1 year contract, you want a 1 year rental, then that's absolutely not a problem in Bangkok, and you can absolutely find a great deal. I've seen some rooms go for like 8,000 per month, sometimes 7,500 if you're doing like a 1 year contract. So I'd say the minimum is around the 8,000 baht per month mark if you're on a 1 year sort of deal. But if you're just doing like a 1 month rental at a time, you're probably going to find around the minimum is like 10, 11, even 12,000. I know I paid 12,000 per month in my previous condo. If you haven't seen that video as well, I'll leave that on the screen for you so you can check that out. My condo in Bangkok. It was a great little condo, but yeah, expect to pay around 10 to 12,000 per month for a 1 month deal as well. But that's why I'm saying is accommodation can be a little bit pricey compared to other places in Thailand, so just be aware of that. And of course, with huge cities come a little bit of lack of nature. Now, obviously, you don't have your beaches here in Bangkok, so the closest beach to you is probably Pattaya, which is like around 2 hours by car, 2.5 hours. So you absolutely have a little bit of a lack of nature. You do have some parks around, don't get me wrong. You do have like Lumpini Park, which is a massive park in the center of Bangkok that you can get away from the hustle and bustle temporarily. But if you want a full like get away in the middle of Bangkok, you're not going to find too much of that. You're obviously better off going to near the beach like Pattaya or going to Hua Hin. A lot of people tend to go to Hua Hin. So yeah, just be aware of that. Of course, being a major city, you're going to find some, if you're a nature lover, you're going to find it a little bit difficult here to get some of your nature in. So just be aware of that. And finally, it's taxi scams. Now, if you're an unsuspecting tourist and you're not an experienced traveler here in Thailand, you may encounter a taxi scam. So if you're going into your taxi, some of the taxis, they see you're a tourist, then they will not turn the meter on for you. So what I absolutely recommend, and this is common knowledge of course for a lot of you, but if you are new to traveling to Thailand, then this can come in handy. If you're wanting to catch a taxi anywhere, please be sure to tell them to turn the meter on before you get in the car. Make sure that that's make sure that that's 100% clear with the driver so he understands that to turn the meter on. If they don't turn the meter on, then simply get out or move on to the next taxi. You can find heaps of taxis around. There's thousands upon thousands of taxis. So if one of them rejects that offer, then just go to the next one. But most of the time you shouldn't have a problem with that. Just make sure you don't get scammed, because they will definitely overcharge you if they don't turn the meter on. So just be aware of that. Always tell them to turn the meter on. Well, I think that covers everything, guys. What do you guys think? Leave a comment down below. If you have ever lived in Bangkok, what are your thoughts? What are your thoughts on your experience living in Bangkok? I would love to hear your guys' feedback as well. I would love to hear your guys' thoughts on what you think of living in Bangkok. I certainly enjoyed living in Bangkok, and I do definitely intend to go back there again at some stage during this whole trip that I'm on right now. So I definitely do miss Bangkok, but it's an amazing place. I really do highly recommend you go to Bangkok. Again, it's not for everyone. If you're a big city lover, then you absolutely will love Bangkok. But if you're not a sort of city girl or city guy, then you might not enjoy it as much. But a lot of people say they have a love-hate sort of relationship with Bangkok. A lot of people might love it to go there just for that short 3 or 4 days, but after 3 or 4 days, some people might get sick and tired of it because they don't want to deal with all the people and all the traffic. So I totally understand that, but for me, I absolutely love living in Bangkok, and it's always it's an amazing time. So thank you guys so much for watching this video. Please make sure to subscribe to my channel for upcoming videos in the future, and don't forget to click the notification bell to be notified of any upcoming videos as well, and be sure to click the thumbs up button on this video. It really helps out the channel a lot. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'm very, very grateful for your time. God is good. Let the journey continue.